All right, so it appears that a Proud Boy member is on the run. He is gone. He's pulling a Will Smith. It says Proud Boy disappears ahead of sentencing in Capitol riot case. So the DOJ has actually done, I would say the DOJ in general under Biden has actually done a pretty decent job with a lot of stuff. The Breonna Taylor thing I thought was very impressive. But they've gotten a lot of these people in the January 6th situation. And I know as easy as you guys might think it is to just like convict people or even charge people, it's actually difficult in terms of you have to get all the evidence together. It's not just as willy-nilly as a lot of people think. You still have to go through the criminal system, obviously, and as you guys know, right, criminal charges are always they're always in favor of the defendant because of the beyond a reasonable doubt standard. It requires, like, I don't know what the number would be, 90, 95. But for example, in civil court, it's only a preponderance of the evidence. So that only means above 50%. So 5149, you could be considered liable, right? You're not determined guilty. But because it's so high, you have to really make sure you have something that sticks. But check this out. So it says a member of the Proud Boys has disappeared ahead of his sentencing on charges related to the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol, according to an arrest warrant unsealed on Friday. Christopher Worrell was convicted earlier this year on 7 counts related to his conduct during the insurrection, including assaulting a group of Capitol police officers with pepper spray and lying to investigators. He was set to be sentenced on Friday, with prosecutors seeking 14 years in prison. That's no joke. 14 years is no joke. However, a bench warrant was issued for his arrest on Tuesday, and his sentencing hearing was canceled on Wednesday, court records show. So honestly, I'm not like a legal expert, so you didn't have to be a legal expert to know this, but I don't know how that relates to this case. I wish I'd give you more info, because one thing I can tell you is anytime you see a story about someone facing a jail sentence and it says X person is facing X maximum years in prison, they're never going to get that maximum time no matter what. Most of the time they're going to plead for maybe 10% of that or something, or even if they're convicted in trial or whatever, even then it may not be that. So that I can tell you now. Now when it says prosecutors are seeking 14 years, I don't know if that means he's likely to actually get 14, but even if he gets 6, 10, that's still significant. That's a lot of time. That's some people's lifetimes, right? A spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia said in a statement they are interested in any information the public might provide regarding his whereabouts. Worrell had been on house arrest in Florida since November 2021. He is one of more than 36 people charged in the January 6th riot who have been tied to the Proud Boys, a far-right extremist group. 4 members of the Proud Boys, including former leader Enrique Tarrio, were convicted of seditious conspiracy in May. Federal prosecutors said in a filing on Thursday they are seeking a 33-year prison sentence for Tarrio and 27 to 33 years for the 3 others. Damn. Those are some fat sentences, dude. That's solid to see that they're actually going to get this, because this kind of a thing, you can't let this go, right? We can't allow something so insane in the history of the U.S. to just be willy-nilly. I mean, there was literally an attempt to overthrow the U.S. government. Trump has committed so many crimes. He literally had fake electors. Slady was making calls to pressure elected officials in Georgia and AZ and everywhere to basically be like, hey, find the votes that we need. And the fact that he's the leading candidate in the race is fucking terrifying. And so I'm not a fan of Joe Biden, honestly. I think he's been underwhelming as president for sure, by a long shot, actually. Because $15 minimum wage and some good, decent amount of student loan was really supposed to be the main way, but it didn't really end up. He didn't even attempt pursuing the 15. He didn't really give a fuck. So essentially, that's kind of what's going on here. But yeah, those are some fat sentences. So it's good to see this. And I do want to give credit to the Biden DOJ for the Breonna Taylor thing was very impressive, I thought. And then they've really been coming down. There's been lots of these convictions coming down. So it's very nice to see them holding this accountable. And Trump is also, he's boys getting hit with indictments in the booty left and right. So yeah, man, good news. But hopefully they catch this guy.